All right. We love our guns because we love freedom. What a beautiful idea. My name is Nephi Kaliki, and this is the Double Tap Show. We're here every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m., whether you like it or not. Joining me in the studio, as usual, my partner in crime, the call and ambulance guy, Mel.
Yo, Nephi, I'm ready for another hard-hitting show, and I know you are. You won't disappoint.
Yes, I'm not going to... You know what, Mel? I'm very disappointed in reporting what I have to report today. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to, right? So, but we have to do what we got to do. So if you're driving around, you better buckle up because the seats are going to be rough. So it's going to be a rough ride. So last week, Mel, we were talking about Michael McDonald and Jesse Law. You know, and I'm a Republican, right? And so it pains me to have to talk about this because it is going to hurt us for a while. It is going to hurt our party for a while, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it has to come out. Now, I want to just, for those of you listening, it's important, and I'll tell you why. You need to sit down and shut up and just listen to what I'm saying, right? I want you to look up KalikiReport.com. All right, that's my report on the 1 October massacre. And I've never told anybody this, and I have receipts. But I spent a lot of time, many, many, many months, digging into the 1 October mass shooting. Made a lot of enemies doing it, too. If you look up Kaliki Report, K-H-A-L-I-K-I, report.com, you'll see my level of investigative skills. It's about a 40-page report on 1 October. My report and one other report from Eddie Schmitz, both two independent private investigators looking into this based only on the facts that Metro released. It is because of those two reports that the victims got their settlement right out of the gate. Okay? I don't talk about that, but I'm talking about it right now because you need to understand my level of investigative skills, right? This is not a joke. And the things that I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell you today about Michael McDonald and other people in the Republican Party. Remember, I'm a Republican. And you can say what you want about me, but you can't ever question my patriotism. The things that I'm going to say today, you need to understand that I've been looking into this for several years. This isn't because I'm running for CCRP. It's not because I don't like anybody, because you know what? I'd rather get along. But what I'm saying now is something that has been something I've been looking into for quite a few years, right? And I'm waiting for the right time, hoping that people change. And they're not. They're getting worse. So, the title for today's show, Mel. I mean, Mel, you told me earlier you're hearing a lot of buzz on the streets.
Oh, yes. The word is that you're the most feared voice in Vegas right now.
Well?
And I've known you for a long time, Nephi, and I know that you've never flinched from a fight, and you've never started one that you know you can't win.
Well, if you're going to fight, first be right.
Good.
So, I know I've caused a big stir.
Oh.
I know a lot of people upset, and a lot of people sitting on the edge of their seat right now wondering, what the hell am I going to say today?
I'm waiting to hear it.
They're not going to be any happier today. Okay. So, but it has to be done. So the title of the show is How Money Meant for Republicans Wound Up in the Libertarian Party.
Whoa. What? Huh?
Yes. How Republican money wound up in the hands of libertarians.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
I know it doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Now, this is going to be just for you people just sitting there with your lawyers waiting to go. Understand this is a two-parter. This first one, I'm going to kind of lay out the general scheme, and then next week, I'm going to bring witnesses, and I'm going to bring reports and receipts. Okay, so here's the thing. there's an individual that lived in New York, ran for office in New York, and is very close. Is a beautiful young black woman. And she worked for Don King. Worked also under the Trump campaign. And she was sent to Vegas to support Trump, right? Because those of you that don't know, Don King, big Trump supporter. And those of you who don't know that Don King is a black boxing promoter. Now, I will also say that Don King is not necessarily known for his integrity in business, right? He's been known to take the money. Joe Jackson and Don King kind of in the same category. They're brutal businessmen, and they take whatever the highest pay is. So she was sent down here to support the Trump campaign and the Republican Party, and she had the idea to do a Meet the Dons event. Don King, Don Trump, right? She presented it to Michael McDonald. She was told, Don King told them to give her a job down here, and she got a job. And then she presented this idea to Michael McDonald and others in the Republican Party leadership at the time, and suddenly they pushed her out. And then they went and had this event at another location. She was expecting to make about $200,000 on the event, Meet the Dons, right? That kind of event. Well, somehow they saw a way to make more money. So they went to Don King and offered him more money, and then they secretly held this event for the Libertarian Party. And they raised, as I understand it, and has been told to me and the witnesses that we have, they raised over $1 million. That money was for Republicans. It was her event. It was her intellectual property. It was her connections, even though her connection wound up to be a greedy bastard, right? Took that event that was meant for Republicans. It was intellectual property of one individual, stole the idea, and the Republican Party chairman directed the event to benefit the Libertarian Party.
Well, Trump wasn't involved then.
No,
it wasn't a Don.
No, it was
Meet
a Don.
the Don.
It was a Don King event.
Don King. Okay,
Right.
I got that now.
So the money that was meant for Republicans. Now we needed that money. We needed that money. And how is it that our state Republican chair is diverting money, and especially money at that level, to another party? How's that happening? Now, so I dig into stuff because I want to follow the money, right? And so I'm going to point you out to one of the really interesting things. Now, those of you that don't understand how the politics works in money, they have things called CNEs, which are contributions and expenses. Every political organization is required to file those. And several times throughout the year, like 5 times. So I said, let me find that money. I know the year and the dates roughly, and let me go find that money in the Libertarian Party's CNEs. Well, would you know it, Mel, that since the Libertarian Party has been in Nevada, and they are officially a party in Nevada according to NRS, there's not one CNE filed by the Libertarian Party.
Whoa.
Not one. Not one. And they're legally required to do that. The only time they'd be not required to do that is if they didn't have any earnings or expenses.
Yeah, of course then. Yeah, no income.
So how does $1 million get lost? Think about that. I looked at other state parties for the Libertarians around the country, and lots of them have lots of CNEs and lots of money. So it means that money didn't get reported under their Nevada party. That only looks suspicious, Mel. That you're hiding your money. Yeah, I know you're getting some. Either the Libertarian Party is dead and failed, or they're hiding their money.
That's terrible, of course.
They're hiding the source of their money. Now, you can look this up. Look it up at the Secretary of State. Look up CNEs for the Libertarian Party in Nevada. They don't have any filings. So either they're dead in the water as a party, or there's something shady going on with how they handle their money. And this is just the beginning, Mel, of what we're going to kind of outline in this show today. Is how a lot of money in the Republican Party is going missing to strange places, and why the Republican Party in Clark County, and why we're broke. Clark County, the most important county in the state for voting, Republican, broke, dead broke. And we're going to talk about where that money went and how it wound up in the hands of some people that shouldn't have had it, and the person that's behind all that. This is very, very sad to me, Mel.
Oh, it's as I say, it's terrible. Something's wrong completely, and you're going to go into it further as we continue with the show. Right.
We are. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. But remember, this is a two-parter.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because it's going to take a little bit of explaining, but I want people to understand that my intentions in doing this. Look, I know I'm catching a lot of heat. A lot of people, telling me, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. It makes the party look bad. Do you know what? Think about the people whose hopes and dreams were attached to the dollars they spent.
Yes.
And that the dollars they spent, their hopes and dreams were sold off, were laundered off, were diverted. And guess what? It seems like somebody said red wave and what they meant was payday, because the money's not going to where it should be. So we're going to go to a quick break, Mel, but I want to remind people, if this show gets you hot and bothered, maybe you need to hydrate. So go down to hydrate.vegas. Gene and his wife, Francesca, they're very, very nice people. Mel's been down there. Actually, you've been going down there a little too much, Mel.
Too much.
What's going on? What's going on, brother?
Well, no, I'm feeling better.
All right. Well, we'll be back right after the break, and we'll continue this saga. All right, we are back. This is the Double Tap Show. We're here every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m., whether you like it or not, bitches. Joining me in the studio's Mel. So we're talking about how money from the money meant for the Republican Party making it into the coffers of the Libertarian Party.
And that makes no sense. Well, you have the information, because I can't even comprehend that. Because Libertarian, as far as I'm concerned, Libertarian Party is, if you just read about their platform and everything.
Well, that doesn't matter, Mel.
I know, that's right.
What matters is that it's not our party.
It's not.
That we have a chairman that appears to be working in the interests of another party.
Well,
so that brings us, before we get to that, Mel, we've got a caller on the line real quick. I'm going to take them real fast. Ron, welcome to the Double Tap Show.
My friend Nephi, since you're being so modest today, dude, I wanted to promote your business. You haven't even mentioned. So for all you slackers out there that's contemplating getting your CCW, you got to get into this class, man. So get up off your butt and go take it. How are you, Nephi?
I'm doing all right. I wish I had better news today. I appreciate you for promoting that. It's just there's a lot of things that are far more important than even my business, and that is getting our party together. So I appreciate the call, brother.
All right.
Have a good
day.
So, thank you. I appreciate that, Ron. I do got to promote my business more. We got a good program. So listen, Mel, I got to tell a story. Now, I'm running for Clark County chairman, not because I aspire to work in that thankless, unpaid job, right? But because I feel like we need to get on track. Because after a couple years of investigating this, there are some things that I've come to some conclusions about that it has prompted me to speak out. Now, trust me, I'm not making my life any easier by speaking out about these things. And in many ways, I might be making some enemies, but that's okay, because I assure you I'm more dangerous than they are. But I'm armed with the truth and with the righteous indignation that should rightfully come. So Jesse Law is the chairman for the Clark County Republican Party. It's the largest voting block. You got to win Nevada in order to get. You got to win Clark County in order to have everything happen properly, kind of for the state elections. So I've known Jesse Law since we met on a John Lee campaign back in the day. John was, senator, assemblyman, mayor for North Las Vegas, and then he ran recently for governor. That's how I knew Jesse Law. And we had a little bit of connection because, he does a little opera singing, and we both smoke hookah. We smoked hookah together many times, and communicated on a lot of issues and presented a lot of ideas, back and forth over time. And I've had a chance to get to know him, on a personal level a bit, and mostly we talk business. But I will tell you, it was interesting because I had an event that I was doing. I do these mass CCW events. And we were going to do one at the Hustler Club, which is, I like to do controversial stuff. And so we're doing it at the Hustler Club. And one of the employees or managers over there is named Zach. And Zach used to be the roommate of Jesse and Rob Tyree. And Zach, the poor guy, he didn't know what he was saying. One day he said, Jesse and Rob Tyree, they both, they made a pact. They were libertarians. And they made a pact that they were going to infiltrate the Republican Party to make it more libertarian. And Zach, boy, you're just carrying on. And I go, excuse me? What did you just say? And he just looked at me. He doesn't even know what he's saying. And I said, did you just say that Jesse Law and Rob Tyree made a pact as libertarians to infiltrate the Republican Party to make it more libertarian? He goes, yeah, what's the problem? And I go, wow. I can't believe I'm hearing you say that. And I'm sorry, but you put those two things together, the Libertarian Party getting money, and I understand the Libertarian Party is on the rise. And they pay people to switch parties. They're not broke. They're very well connected. A lot of Masons and Freemasons and stuff are in that party. There's a lot of stuff within that party, and they're trying to grow. Would this be the time to get Republicans, who are the next closest convert, to shift over? Would they be doing stuff like this? If they were going to do it, now would be the time. So now I'm going to tell you something about Michael McDonald. Now, how many times, Mel, have you heard people saying, how are these politicians who work for $175,000 a year, is what they get for like Senate or Congress, how are they becoming multimillionaires?
Yeah, it's always the question.
That's always the question, right? And Republicans, they question it all the time.
Yes.
All the time. So, those of you listening, I want you to keep that in mind. How many times you've asked yourself how these career politicians who never served any jobs or done any business, owned any businesses, how are they becoming multimillionaires? All right? I want you to remember how many times you've complained about that. Now I want to bring up what people are finding out recently about Biden and how many, this web of LLCs and organizations that are set up ostensibly to do no other purpose than to move money around.
Every one of those subpoenas returned valuable information that had been unreported and that contributed to this committee's understanding of how the Bidens conducted their businesses. The committee is concerned by the complicated, suspicious network of over 20 companies we have identified the Bidens and their associates used to enrich themselves.
Right, because they don't sell anything, they don't do anything, they don't ship anything. It's all these LLCs and this web of filings that's designed to confuse typically, right? Now I want you to pay attention to what Michael McDonald's scenario looks like. As far as I know right now, Michael McDonald has like 2 or 3 PACs, which are political action committees. And then it's interesting, if you look up his Secretary of State filings, he has himself listed as a sole proprietor, and every 2 years he's changed it to the same name. Every 2 years since he's been in office, he's changed his sole proprietorship to the same name. So he's just basically eliminating this entity, which is more of a number, and then adding a new one. So he's changed it 5 times. He has all these PACs and LLCs that get money moved around. And now let me give you something even worse. If you look up the contributions and expenses for 2018, one thing that I've been doing, going through these line by line, we had $5 million in 2018 in the state party. And that money was supposed to go to the candidates to help support them to win. Because what's the party for if not to win elections? And I don't know any members or any candidates in the Republican Party that were getting any money. But I can tell you that you'll see Arizona Republican Party got $200,000 from Nevada. Also gave money to a candidate in Missouri, like $20,000. And there's other transactions. They're giving money to Colorado. Everyone but us is getting that money that's meant for us. And candidates out there, you know what it is, Mel, in my humble opinion, as a professional and as an investigator, they're selling off losing slots in our party. Because, you know, and I got some friends out there in the party. I know, Mel, I see you making a funny face. What I mean by that is, look, they're going to either support a candidate or they're not. And if they don't support him, that means that you're meant to lose. That they're playing horses. The horse race, right? They'll run certain guys and leave them be, let them run because they know they're going to lose. Sometimes they might be paying that position to lose. They know they put a weak candidate in there, they're going to get ate up. And if you don't support them, they're going to get ate up. So that's how you hedge your bets. But I can tell you there's a lot more money moving around from within the party, and which means through Michael McDonald's hands. And guess what? A lot of people wanted to audit it. And Michael McDonald won't allow it.
Well, can he do that? That's what you're coming to.
Well, no. How can he do it? Is just simply refuse to do it, and somebody's going to have to compel him. But I assure you, Mel, I wouldn't come out here just by myself if I didn't have some serious backup.
Of course, and that's...
And I don't mean just, information. I mean backup.
Backup.
Yeah.
Yes, backup.
There's a lot of things in the works right now, and, people are going to be frustrated with me for a while until they figure out why I did what I did. And it's not going to be today when they stop being mad at me and they realize why I did what I did, but it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon because I do care about this party, because I care about my freedoms. And what really upsets me about all this is that the money that people in the Republican Party, they donate that money, their hard-earned money, to a cause, to a belief, to hope. And then to find out that we have a system that it looks to me like our money for Nevada is being laundered and distributed for people's personal gain. And I think people are pretty hip to that because they're not giving their money anymore. They're not giving it to Jesse Law, that's for damn sure. Because they don't trust that it's going to go towards the cause. Same thing happened when the NRA calls me. Every time Biden says something stupid, I get a phone call from the NRA. Hey, Biden's really out of control this time. It's time to renew your membership. And I said, no, I'm not putting Wayne LaPierre on an airplane one more time. I don't see you guys doing nothing with the money, so I'm not giving it to you anymore. And I think that's how people are about the Republican Party right now. It's because we know if we give money to the CCRP in Clark County, and we're going to be paying off Jesse's debts that he's incurred. You want to really dig into this, and I am really digging into this. I'm keeping it simple so that we can get a kind of basic through line and understand what's going on. But there's someone supposed to be calling in here in a minute to talk about Jesse as recently as 2 days ago, telling people that he is still a libertarian.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, this isn't me saying I have anything against libertarians, but within our party business, that's like you're my friend, Mel, but if it's a family reunion and somebody's got to go, it's you. Right?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
It's our party. And if a Democrat were doing the same thing, we'd string them up, infiltrating our party like that.
Well, of course.
Now, I'm going to give Michael McDonald and Jesse Law a compliment.
Oh.
I'd like to say that they're stupid because I dislike very much what they're doing. But they're not stupid people. They're actually very smart. And to be losing this badly as a party, it has to be intentional because their abilities are far greater than the results that we're seeing. And it starts to make sense. When you have somebody that is allegedly diverting $1 million from the party to another party, that is pulling the rug out from under your own party.
Of course.
So I believe that we're being sabotaged, that we're being stripped of everything that we have earned, and that the hopes and dreams that people are paying with their hard-earned money for, man, it's just, like I said earlier, it's no red wave, it's payday for Mike McDonald and his cronies. And I'm digging deep. So we have someone on the phone right now I'm going to bring on live. Tim, welcome to the Double Tap Show.
Why, hello, Nephi.
My brother, it's you.
Hey, guy. So I was listening to the show. I heard you talking about all the info, and yeah, you mentioned Jesse Law being a libertarian. He's been open about that. He doesn't hide it. He says that he identifies as libertarian. And I know that a lot of our Republican brothers and sisters have, went over to the Libertarian Party. So there must be a thin line between Libertarian and Republican, right?
Yeah, I think it has to do with, the idea of freedoms and stuff. And I don't have a problem with the idea of libertarians as a party. What I have a problem with is them taking our money.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to take our money. That's for sure. We need that money. We need more money. I know the CCRP, they're very interested in doing some fundraising and bringing money in so that we can do things. Because as you know, it takes money to make money.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And you know what? I've had a lot of ideas that I've sent to Jesse over the years. Stuff that, look, I do this. I'm a professional. All right, and nobody can say I don't put asses in seats. I've got the world record for the largest CCW class in U.S. history. I've done it 5 times. I've done tons of events. I've got more students than the CCRP has members. I'm at 23,000 students, me, CCW. I could bring all that into the party, and how come I keep getting kicked around? My ideas just pushed around. I'm not some little schmuck that's just coming with some stupid idea. I am a professional, and I have done it many, many times. And the more this happens, the more I just keep thinking, you know what? It's on purpose. It's on purpose.
Well, I gotta ask you, as somebody running to be chairperson, what do you think about a 4-way race becoming a 5-way race this week with Johnny Brew's announcement?
I think it's still a 4-way race. I think there's a placeholder in there that isn't going to move the needle one bit. So, Tim, listen, we're going to go to a break here, brother. I appreciate you calling in on that issue, and we'll be in touch soon. Congratulations on your movie, Hell's Coming for You, by the way.
Pew, 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 pew. Thanks, Mel.
All right, thanks, Tim. So, listen, this is a sad day for me, Mel. It is really sad, because I've seen the hope in these people's eyes. And when they give their money, it's because they believe. They believe and they want to make things better, and they believe in making our freedoms. And, man, part of the reason I got in the race, Mel, is because I dared Jesse and his cronies to cheat me. I dare him to cheat me. So we're going to go to a quick break. But I want to remind everybody about a new sponsor. We got all these people talking trash. It's getting me new sponsors. So, Hustler Club Vegas. Hustler Club in Vegas, Mel.
You're kidding.
Every
right?
Monday is going to be America Monday from 5 o'clock. So, I might start going to strip clubs. I don't know. Mondays is America Monday at Hustler Club on Dean Martin Drive, right next to Range 702, one of our other sponsors. So for all you haters out there talking smack about me and the Double Tap Show, put that in your pipe and smoke it. We're just going to, you know what, keep going. We're going to keep telling the truth, and I dare one of you people I'm talking about to sue me for slander or libel, because you know what? You got nothing. Nope. I dare you. I'll bring all the evidence to the table, and now we'll have it on the record. So if you want to do it to me, bring it on, baby. We'll see you right after the break. You gotta know when to draw down, when to call the law down, know when to move and when, know when to shoot. You better move for cover. In the middle of a gunfight, there's no time to be a hero till the shooting's done. All right, we are back. This is the Double Tap Show. We're here every Saturday from 2 to 3. So, Mel, I want to bring this kind of home. You were saying between the break.
Yeah, I want to talk about this.
Go ahead.
Well, about the Hustler Club in particular.
No.
Go
ahead. Hurry up.
Monday night at the Hustler Club. This sounds like a good idea. America Monday. I want to go. Okay. There's no height requirement, right?
No.
Because I've been there. I used
You're
to go
at the perfect height for a strip club, Mel.
That's true. That is true. And I used to take advantage of it. So I'll show you when okay. But now to get back to the important things.
Agree. I'm not really a strip club guy. I don't drink or anything, but they have hookah over there, so.
Well, okay. I'll let you do
America
hookah.
Mondays.
Yeah, I'll let you do hookah, and I'll take advantage.
Not of me, you won't.
No. All right.
So listen, man, I want to bring this back home because I wanted, the reason I set it up in the beginning is I wanted people in that are listening to remember how many times they thought, how do these politicians get rich from public service? There's only X amount of dollars they get, and how are they becoming $200, $300 million millionaires? So, I want you to look at the way Michael McDonald set up his books. Set up the party, set up his PAC, set up his personal business. I want you to look at it. And then I want you to look at Joe Biden's. They're the same damn template. And the only reason, and listen to all the arguments that people are making from Congress and the Senate about these mysterious LLCs all over the friggin' place, that the only purpose they could ever have been created for
is
to move money around. To launder money, to hide money from the IRS. Because you know what? Michael McDonald don't sell no products, neither. He don't sell nothing. All he does, and all you candidates, if you don't play the game, this is my personal opinion from what I've seen, if you don't play the game and give them a little something on the side, and I hear tell that there is a money runner involved, and I'm looking for him. Right? There's a money runner involved. And I'll go all the way, man. All the way with this, Mel. And infiltrating our party. Look, there's too much on the line in 2024 for Republicans for us to risk it, A, on the poor performance record of Jesse Law during the last 2 years, right? Zero money made this year. He's talking about in his campaign that he's going to raise $360,000 in 2024. From how?
Yeah, how?
How? You ain't raised $1 this year, and you're telling me all of a sudden you had it in your back pocket this whole time? You sneaky devil, you. And then he's going to unify the party? How? You mean the Libertarian Party? Right? How are you going to bring all these new members in? You didn't do it last year, and all these wonderful people that are in these committees, he didn't organize those committees until right before the election. You should have done that your first day in office, creep. You can't sit on your ass for 2 years and do nothing, and that's what you've done. The results are nothing, and you can make excuses for it, but the M&Ms, brother, money and members, and you suck at both. And you and your buddy, Michael McDonald, your boss, Michael McDonald, look up how many times McDonald has paid Jesse, or Jesse's been paid by the party. We're not supposed to get paid. Volunteer, except for them. All these side deals and things going on. Where our money goes. Where is it going? And Michael McDonald doesn't want to do an audit. He's got 5 sole proprietorships filed under his own name. And he's got these at least 3 PACs. And it's just strange stuff. And I want you to remember this, that they only have to report stuff over $1,000. And that means somebody giving money at the door for something, I don't know, could be going in Rob Tyree's pocket. I don't know. There's no accountability.
Somebody's got to be getting it.
We don't have any money. And Michael McDonald and Jesse Law aren't stupid people. They're corrupt, but not stupid in my opinion. So if you're doing this bad, it's on purpose. So we're going to go to the phones real quick. Gary, welcome to the Double Tap Show.
Thank you. I'm voting for you, and I don't care what party you belong to. This is what I call very interesting radio, and I thank you so much. I just want to pass one thing on.
Sure,
Probably
Gary.
doesn't mean a lot, but the Libertarian Party, there was a joke in the 1990s about them that they were just really Republicans that wanted to legalize marijuana, but every time they put it on the referendum to legalize it, they forgot to go down there and vote.
My issue is not with the libertarians, but if they're meddling in our business or colluding with McDonald to steal money from Republicans, I do have a problem with that.
I hear you loud and clear, sir. I hear you loud and clear. You have my attention, and you have my respect, and I want you to get back to your show. Thank you, because you have balls. Dear God, you do. Happy 4th of July to you.
Thank you, Brother Gary. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon. So, Mel.
Yes.
Impart your wisdom.
There's something. Well, come on. You hit the nail on the head as always. There is something absolutely wrong. But now, he doesn't want to do an audit. You're saying, but is there any kind of rule or anything that there has to be? Can you insist on having an audit? Can you do? How's it done?
No, because not right now. They make their own rules as they go along. They'll change it. He reelected himself without anybody's consent.
Obviously, McDonald, you have nothing to do with the election with McDonald.
That's our state party.
That's the state party. So I mean, so one step at a time. But I would tend to think that an audit is, it's absolutely necessary. God.
Mel, whatever I come out on the radio with, understand that's what I feel comfortable coming out. I'm not going to show my hand on a lot of stuff, but trust me.
And you've thought about it.
Trust me, there's far more under the surface with this going on that I'm going to reveal on the radio program. I'm not going to clue them off to anything that's going to, have them burn in file cabinets or anything. But you know what? This is bad. This is so bad.
It's terrible. It's ridiculous.
And you're not even a Republican.
And I'm not a Republican. No, look, but remember the words I always use. I'm an American. So this is absolutely against America. What McDonald and Law has done. You're trying to change it.
Well, stay tuned next week for part 2. We're going to bring witnesses and receipts. And this is just going to get worse. But it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I want people to know I know it won't be today, but please stick with me, man. Yeah. I'll bring the point home, but this has got to be done a certain way. It's got to be done right, and it's got to be done thorough. We have to cauterize this wound and move on. I don't want this job, the CCRP, because I envision myself. The worst thing I can imagine is wearing a suit. And I don't wear suits. So I want to remind everybody, come see me at VegasCCW.com. I'll teach you how to kick somebody's ass with a gun. That's what we do at Vegas CCW. We teach firearm self-defense. We are the ones who started Las Vegas Gunfights, the world's first full-contact gunfight training sport. And we had over 11,000 full-contact fights. We know how to train people, and we can train you too. So it starts with getting your CCW permit so you can carry from the right platform to be able to train within that platform. So where you go is VegasCCW.com. We do classes 4 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So remember, VegasCCW.com. That's where you go to get your permits. And we'll see you next week, folks. Happy 4th of July.